Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Up Supercast Game Club. My name is Brandon. I like Monster Girls, and I'm proud of it. And joining me today, I have Ills.
Taste my win, nerds.
And I have Noah.
So gross.
And this week, we played Indivisible.
Yeah.
Available on multiple platforms.
Once again, multi-platform Brandon. Doing it.
That's me. That's what I'm known for. I don't stay handcuffed. I'll play on anything.
He's in an open relationship with all the consoles.
I am. Sorry, Nintendo. But Indivisible is a newer game that we played here on the Game Club. Usually, a lot of times we end up playing older games. But I picked this game, and it was released on October 8th, 2019 in North America, on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, including Steam and wherever you want to play it on PC. I don't know.
And a Switch version coming eventually.
Switch version coming eventually. There's no, it's TBA. We don't know what day it's coming out on. But it is coming. So if you want to play this on the Nintendo Switch, just be a little patient. Indivisible was a Kickstarter game. Whoa. And developed by Lab Zero Games and published by 505 Games. You may recognize some of the art style from Skullgirls, because this game was actually announced during a Lab Zero Games had a Skullgirls panel at Anime Expo in 2015. They announced this game.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And they had a Kickstarter for it. Was pretty successful. Actually, it wasn't Kickstarter. Sorry, it was Indiegogo.
One of the crowdfunding sites.
One of the crowdfunding campaigns. Yeah. But they made, this is they did pretty good. They raised I don't remember the exact number, but I know there was an achievement based on that, which was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it was like 200,000 or 2 million. I don't remember. Whatever.
Yeah, it was something around that, and it was an achievement where if you got that exact number of damage, well, not that exact number, anything over, you would unlock the achievement for it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it finally came out in 2019, and it is basically a mixture of like 2D Metroidvania style gameplay and RPG, like a I guess turn-based RPG.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a mixture of both of those.
Yeah, it kind of blurs the line between action and turn-based.
A little bit, yeah.
Because when it's your turn, it's everybody in your team's turn.
Yes.
And you can just like combo. It's sort of like a fighting game at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the combat mechanics were inspired by, because I've seen people say this online, and I had to look it up because I haven't played this game, but inspired by Valkyrie Profile.
Yeah, I haven't played it either, but I heard the same thing.
Yeah, and if the combat's similar to that, I'm kind of interested in that game now.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard a lot of things about that series, and I've always been interested, but I never played it. So
yeah, so now I'm a little bit interested in that. So thank you, Indivisible, for introducing us to that as well. But this game has a 2D art style, all hand drawn, and you play as Ajna on her quest to, at the beginning, to get revenge, to avenge her father and her village, which were attacked. Before I get into it, I do want to just say that it was my choice. I did pick this game, and the reason I picked it, because I just thought it looked really cool when I first saw footage of it. I was immediately drawn to the hand-drawn art style, and I really liked the look of it. And then I saw some of the gameplay, and it was just like, yeah, this is a game I want to play. So I bought it when it came out on Xbox One, and then unfortunately didn't get to play it right away. So it just became like a backlog game, and I was like, well, gonna use the game club to clear some of this backlog, some of the newer stuff too. I'm gonna like jump around now. That's my new goal.
And then it got onto Game Pass. So
and then it got onto Game Pass, and I said, "Wow, I just purchased this fucking game, and now it's on Game Pass." So here we are.
Thank you, Game Pass. These other two jabronis had to buy it.
Yeah, and Noah had literally the same experience I did in a way because he bought it on PC, Steam. I think on Steam. And then, like, a week later, they're like, hey, it's coming to Game Pass for PC now.
Fuck.
Yeah. But I don't regret purchasing the game because I think it was like $30, but it was a good game. I think it was worth $30.
It's worth it. It's worth the support.
Yeah. So, even though I got cucked by Game Pass, I still... it just happens. That's just what happens sometimes. I should know better, right? Game Pass is great.
Never buy games.
Never buy video games. They're gonna be on Xbox.
We have pirate like Banzai or what's her name?
Bowsai.
Bowsai, yeah. If it's on Xbox, it might be on Game Pass eventually, or maybe never, and you end up never buying a video game. But at least you didn't buy anything. So yeah, that's why I bought. That's why I picked this game. Like I said, I think my new plan is to like bounce back and forth between games that are old that are on my backlog and kind of newer games. Maybe not as new as this. This is probably like new. Like this is like new. Like it came out in October 2019. So as recorded, it's the beginning of March. Like so, it's only like what 5 months. Mm-hmm. So not a long time between release and playing it here on the Game Club. So
well, it's nice to be able to use the Game Club sometimes to keep up with the more recent releases. So.
Yeah. And a little bit bending the rules here because a usual thing with the list is you gotta wait a year for the game to come out.
Fuck that. The club overrules
on the Game
the
Club.
list.
Yeah, the Game Club overrules everything. And we did it. We've done it before. We've done it with games that like are only like a couple weeks old. So
we did it with the first game, right? Dragon Ball.
Yeah, Dragon Ball.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we set the precedent early. This is how we do it. So yeah, Indivisible, 2D game. And like we mentioned, it is like kind of Metroidvania, and when you're in the overworld, running around, and it switches back and forth, almost seamlessly between battle and platforming.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really liked about this game is like it's like so seamless, like the transition when you encounter an enemy and go straight into battle. Like it's really, really smooth. It's cool.
That and also when you go into Ajna's inner world, it's like so like quick. It's awesome.
Yeah, there's like very little in terms of loading screens. Like you get the first one when you boot the game up, and there's like a little bit of loading hiccup when you go from area to area. Mm-hmm. And when you use the fast travel as well, it just loads the area completely. But in terms of actual loading screens in the game, very little, very minimal.
Yeah.
And it is really seamless. One of the things I really like is when you go into a battle, you're fighting that battle exactly where you are, which sometimes be a pain in the ass.
Like sometimes I was fighting on like an edge, so like the enemies would just fall.
Yeah,
or, like,
you knock them off
screen.
and the battle ends.
It's so weird. Like I hate
is very
that part.
weird. But I think it also, outside of that, like it's cool just to see the fact that you're fighting exactly where you are on the map. In terms of like, sometimes RPGs take you out of it a little bit because all of a sudden you're fighting like in like completely different area,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I do appreciate that.
Also, there were two instances where I was fighting and there was like a foreground,
I've had that too.
Images or rocks or something, and I could not see who I was fighting. Like half my screen was just like rock. Mm-hmm. I couldn't see shit, but I was still hitting them, and I won that battle. But still,
yeah. But overall, like these issues were very few and far between. It's not indicative of anything you found a lot.
It was just funny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I do want to talk about before we really get into like the actual battle system and everything in terms of talking about that. I just want to mention a little bit more on the story. As I mentioned earlier, you play as Ajna. She's the main character, right? And I'm not going to go into spoilers. We can talk about it later. I just want to get like the basics of it. Like you play as Ajna. She lives in small village, Oshawott. Yeah. Which always reminded me of the Pokemon every time she said it. Spelled obviously differently. but at the beginning of the game, it has her training with her father to fight, and he big emphasis on blocking on him, and he's kind of hard on her, but he wants the best for her. And just real early on, village gets attacked, and her dad gets murdered, and they burn the whole village to the ground, and she goes out on revenge to go after Ravanavar, who's the guy who ordered the hit on her village, and the guy who kills her father. After she fights him, somehow she absorbs him into her head, and they're both very confused about this. And then they find out that she can release him from, like, now he lives in her head, basically. She has like an inner realm inside of her head where he now lives, and he can't get released unless she like okays it, kind of. And she brings him out for battle. His name is Dar, and obviously he's reluctant because they don't like each other. Yeah, he just murdered her fucking father, so they're obviously on ends, but they have to learn to fight together because he's really kind of stuck there, and she doesn't know how to get him out. There's nothing she can do about it. And later on, you find more characters who get absorbed into Ajna's mind, and they become your party. And every time you get into a battle, all the 4 that you want, you can only have 4 at a time, get released from your mind, and that's how. Well,
technically 3 because Ajna's always in the party.
Yeah, always have Ajna. So yeah, 3 other characters. And this is
and there are a ton of characters. Yeah,
there are so many characters.
There's a ton. There's a lot of variety there with the different characters you can have in your party throughout the game. Some of them are optional. Some of them are obviously a decent chunk of them are story related and have to join your party.
Yeah.
But it's a very cool thing. Also, like, another thing that kind of deals with a trope that RPGs have, where you're running around and then all of a sudden your party's all there when it comes to a battle. On the main screen. Some games have the people follow behind you, but others is just one person, and then they're all of a sudden they're there when you're in a battle. This game is kind of like a little like cheeky, like hey, this is the reason, right? They're inside of her head.
Yeah.
and she releases them, which I think is kind of cool.
It's a cool, like, quote unquote excuse on why they just suddenly appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, it is. And the story basically is like a coming of age story in a way, with Ajna. She's 16 years old, and she has to deal with a lot, obviously, at the beginning of the story. And she finds out more and more about herself and her past and her father along the way. And she has to deal with consequences of her actions, kind of. Which is really cool. And you just watch her throughout the story become basically a different person than she starts off with at the beginning.
Yeah, she matures. She learns that her actions have consequences. She can't just do whatever the fuck she wants.
Yep. Yeah. And she's very hard-headed, at the beginning, and doesn't take a lot of advice given to her by her other party members. And she learns through her own actions that. Maybe she doesn't know everything. Maybe punching somebody in the face as soon as you're mad isn't the answer to everything.
Yeah, at the beginning, she just wants to fight everyone, basically.
Yeah. And I think, overall, without getting into spoilers, it's good. It's very good. The storytelling is great. The writing is good. The voice acting is very good.
I don't know if I would say the storytelling is good necessarily, because the plot itself is. I wasn't like blown away by most of it. It's kind of bland.
Sure, I mean none of it is like.
But I would say the character writing is good. Yeah.
Definitely. And there's something about I really like the voice acting in the game.
No, they did it really good with the voice acting. Yeah.
Yeah, and like people that should have accents are like being voiced by somebody of that nationality, so it sounds correct, so it all sounds natural and very good. So And one of the things with the characters I liked a lot too is just their interactions with each other throughout the game.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not all just Ajna.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, they have-
Ajna
Razmir.
Yeah.
They all have like interpersonal relationships. Like everybody who you meet and absorb starts to hate Dar because he's kind of a stick in the mud and asshole. And like Baozai has a crush on Tarani, and Tungar has a crush on Phoebe, and Nuna has a crush on the brothers. And, it's the whole thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it really rounds out the whole world. Like it doesn't feel like it's all about Ajna.
Right. Yeah, because they all have personal relationships with each other, and some of the characters obviously get more spotlight because they're like main cast kind of. Some of the like optional characters especially don't really have much of a fleshed out story.
Yeah, and I think that's the risk you run when you have so many characters. Like that's just there's no way you're gonna have enough time to get them all unless it's a much bigger game to give them all like a meaningful story.
And one of the cool things too is it's not just not just the main character. Like Dar himself goes through equally, if not better, of a character progression.
Yeah,
which is it's really cool.
Yeah, he learns from his mistakes. Like at the beginning, he was like totally brainwashed into thinking like that Ravanavar had his best intentions and wanted to do good for the world, but really he was just a murderer. And he slowly learns that, and he doesn't want Ajna to become like him. Yeah,
exactly. And it's really cool to watch his progression of just realizing like how wrong he was. You know, and then also having to atone for his own sins of like, he killed her father and other people too. He feels terrible about it. And he even is like, I can't force you to forgive me, like, but I'm gonna do everything I can now to be better. Yeah, it's cool. I really like that. And just most of the characters, Rosmi, obviously. She's great. She's like April Ludgate of this fucking game.
She's the best character, I think. Especially
She's
sure.
She's really good.
She has a great play style, and she has a great personality. She's so good.
Yeah, I went from at the beginning using her obviously because she's like the first person you get outside of Dar for a while, and then switching her out, and then near the end of the game, bringing her back in and being like, holy shit, she's actually real good.
Yeah, and especially like her ET powers are like real good.
Yes. Yeah, because you almost have like a special meter that you build up in the battles, which lets you unleash different
special attacks.
Special attacks throughout the battles. Yeah.
One thing I didn't like is that not all the characters had that, and I wish they did.
Some characters couldn't even use it at all.
It's kind of dumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yan couldn't use it at all. I'm not sure if Baozai could use it.
I used Tungans and Anjas and sometimes Latigos.
Yeah.
What's her name? The girl with the Liliani, I think. The girl that
Leilani.
Yeah, she also couldn't use it. I fucking loved using her though.
I liked using her a lot too. Yeah, she was cool.
Yeah. But she did kind of use it in a weird way, just not the typical special move. She would drain it if you held the attack button. She would use her chainsaw to rack up more damage.
Somehow that sword is a chainsaw. I don't know how, but she said it's made of shark tooth, but suddenly it's a chainsaw. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Her down attack when she just spins around was fucking great.
Yeah, it's great that it keeps getting faster every time you press it.
Yeah, then the only problem was that she would get dizzy and just like kind of stay there for a minute. And that brings me to a whole nother thing with like each character was very different to use in battle. Some of them were kind of like but a lot of them had like just unique, like when you unlock a character, it's like how to play as this person will pop up on your screen as like a little brief tutorial to show you like their main things and how to use them in a battle. And it was cool just seeing how unique and different some of them were from each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the thing about the combat is that it's fun, but it's shallow. Like everybody has like maybe 3 moves, not counting the special move that not all of them have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's good that they each have like moves unique to them, and they gave them a little bit more personality in combat. But man, like the combat itself, like it didn't really demand that much out of you. Like these characters had way more mechanics than you ever needed to use in the game.
Yeah, and like most of the enemies are real like HP sponges.
Yes.
Yeah, they absolutely were. Some of it was annoying to a point.
The fucking Iron Kingdom, like, just murder me.
Yeah,
I
the
hate that
fucking
place.
soldiers. Yeah, and the tanks.
And the tanks.
And the
Oh my
stupid
God.
fucking tanks that would come back every time you had to cross through that area.
Every time.
It never were a threat like.
And I don't
they
even
would,
think I got experience
They got
points
hit
from
like
it.
maybe once or twice. I would fucking unleash 20 attacks on before they got like an attack in.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so dumb.
It's just.
It wasn't even hard. It was just annoying every time I
Yeah.
ran into one. I was like, oh, here we go. You know.
And that's one of my main criticisms about this game is that it's just so easy.
It's ridiculous. But I never even understood the point of leveling up. It's just increase health. That's it.
I don't
believe
know.
you get stronger. There was a weird system, and it didn't really explain it to you.
I went through like half the game, and I didn't realize, like, I still didn't know how beneficial leveling up was. I
Here's
was like
the thing.
debating on avoiding enemies or
I
not.
had to read a guide on it online.
Oh, jeez.
I wasn't sure because the game never really explains it. Combos play a big part into the damage that you do. So when you're doing combos, it has like on the top of the screen what your number is. And when you're doing damage, when it'll start with white numbers, and then they turn to like red, and then eventually they'll turn to gold. And gold is you're hitting your max. I don't know the numbers exactly, but once you're hitting your max, any attack, as long as you keep going with that combo from any other characters, they'll be hitting their max damage.
Right.
So that's that, and then the leveling up is weird. With like, your characters get stronger. So, Ajna levels up. Was the only one who actual levels up, right? The other characters level up their friendship with Ajna, and like how well they get along with her. So that's what that is. That's why it's like a heart.
That explains why Dar was minus 14 at
Yeah.
one
So
point.
Dar starts off minus.
Yeah.
And he doesn't actually get any stronger until you completely meld that relationship with her, and then it starts actually going into the positives again. But then he gets stronger. He's already like a strong character, but he gets stronger as he doesn't start getting stronger until you meld that relationship with her.
Yeah.
Most
Which is
characters
like
start
40
off
levels.
liking her, but there's a couple that start off negative. Yeah. It's weird. Like
It is weird.
So it's like they make it stronger based on damage or like defensive capabilities or.
Just damage, I believe, and maybe HP.
Oh.
I think it's HP as well.
It's weird that they never explain that in the game.
It is weird that they never explain that in the game. I don't know why they don't.
On the
Weird
plus
thing.
side, it helped me like switch out party members frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Though I had like my main team. My main team was Latigo, the guy with the gun sword. Tungan, the guy with the turban, that was a sword as well, which was fucking awesome. I loved his AoE and his like really multi-hit attacks that build up indie like really fast. And Qadira, like the girl
shield
with
girl?
the mask, the shield girl,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny.
She was the tank. So
Yeah,
like that
she
was my
pretty
main
good.
team.
I didn't really use any of those guys though.
Me neither.
surprisingly.
I used Yan, Naga Rider, and the last slot I usually switched around like Razmi, Leilani. I kept.
I had Razmi a lot in the beginning until I got Tungan, then I swapped them out because she was strong and I love her as a character, but she's slow to attack, and I just because there was so many goddamn enemies that like just took forever to kill, I just needed more attacks in, so I swapped it for Tungan.
Yeah, that's why I kept Yan and Naga Rider because they're so fast. Like if I had Razmi in, like they could attack twice before Razmi does. But when Razmi attacks, like it's really strong. And if I use her ED special attack, I can hit it. She does like a column of fire, and if I get Razmi close to the enemy, I can hit him with the up and then the down of the column of fire. It's really cool. If that makes sense at all.
I
Well, we
used
understand.
a
I
lot
don't know
of Leilani. I use her a lot. because of her chainsaw. I thought was really cool. I used Dar a lot as well. I just liked his like thing where you could press down and like keep stacking, a thing to increase your damage output.
I used Dar in the beginning a lot too.
Yeah, Campan was really a lot stronger. At first, I didn't like her, and then I found out just same thing kind of as Dar. She has a charge her next attack thing, and it was strong as fuck when you used it. So I started using her a lot near the end of the game.
You know who's really strong? Phoebe is really strong. Like, she has, like, a really strong long-range attack, and she has a grab. That's, like, really cheesy. Like, you remember that boss you had to fight to get the twins? I cheesed the hell out of him with Phoebe. Holy shit. Like, I grabbed him so many times, he couldn't even get an attack off.
Wow. There was a couple ways to cheese some of the fights. Sometimes you could just absolutely
I
destroy
cheesed with Nuna here and there for a little while I had her in the party. Like, just plant traps, and whenever the enemies came in, I'd just, like, and cancel their attack.
I really liked Thorani's playstyle. I thought it was really cool and unique. The only problem was, like, because the game was kind of easy, it was, like, I didn't really need it.
You never need to heal.
Yeah.
Like, almost never.
Yeah. But they're, like, you can't really control where her water goes either, so it was, like, kind of luck-based if your character would step on it or the enemy would step on it to get damage. It's weird. But yeah.
But I did like her playstyle, though. I like the idea of it. Like,
I definitely,
healing puddles, and then, like, you have to activate them. They can heal you and hurt the enemies. And I really like Thorani as a character as well. She was really cool.
Absolutely.
I definitely appreciate all the very, very unique playstyles of the characters.
Yeah, I do. I just wish, like, the combat needed you to use them more. Like, there's so little demanded from you in this game. Like, none of the enemies are challenging, really. Like, there are no status effects. There are no items, no equipment. Like, the most people do to you is, like, make you have to block. Okay. Like, sometimes they do an area attack and you have to block all at once. It's not... Yeah. It's really not much.
I mean, some of the enemies presented different things that you'd have to tackle, right? Like,
oh, yeah. Like,
they didn't even utilize that much because, like, yeah, it was like, an enemy can only get damage if they knocked up in the air, that plant monster thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I only encountered him that needed that requirement.
Yeah, it was basically only him. And the other guy was, guys with shields, basically all the soldiers.
You just have to do a down attack and then an up attack.
Yeah,
or vice versa.
It's so simplistic. Like,
yeah.
It is, but at least...
And then some enemies you can't hit with energy because they'll recover instead. But
yeah, there's some that you can't hit with any long-range attacks because they'll heal them. And then there's others that if you hit them with melee attacks, it damages you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Those ones, though, I just was like, fuck it, I'm going to kill them before...
Yeah, I always just killed them before they could kill me.
Yeah, that was my approach to it.
Because, so, I mean the thing is, like, if your characters die, nothing happens. You just fucking teleport 3 steps away and then go again.
That's or where to your last save point is, which was, like, everywhere.
And if your party dies but Ajna's still alive and you have a full meter, you could just revive them instantly.
Yeah, which becomes harder in the later on in the game because your meter gets bigger and bigger, so it becomes harder and harder for you to at any point to make sure that you have a full one. But
at that point, like, you're so strong already anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what the level cap is. I was level 49 when I beat the game, so I was like, I wonder if it's 50. Because I was close, and I didn't feel like even trying.
Yeah, like, I just remember, like, the bosses were a joke. Like, especially the second time around, when you had to go to the places and fix all the problems of the Iron Kingdom and the city and all those places. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I got to those bosses, and they barely touched me. I'm pretty sure Garuda Cruel, I killed him without getting hit once. Mm-hmm. I'm almost certain of it.
Yeah, I didn't, like, in terms of actual fighting the bosses, it was never difficult at all. The only things that made them unique were usually the bosses, which I thought was kind of cool, would combine the battle with, like, a 2D platforming section.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
And it would, like, become, like, a seamless transition, like, going back and forth between them, which was really cool when they did it. There was one that I liked in particular, that you use. Like you have, it was the one at the plant, the area with the barrier. I can't remember what place that was called. The underground barrier with the queen was hiding her people.
Oh
right?
yeah. The Summer Queen.
It was when you go back there the second time and you have to like go through these like series of like
break the totems.
Platforming. No, you have to like, it's like there's wind rising up and there's like spikes, but you have to get to the character.
Right. Yeah.
And you have to like navigate through the spikes to get to her. The only thing that was kind of dumb in that was I damaged her so fucking much the first time I hurt her that she would like have to go through. You could tell it was supposed to be sectioned off where you damage her a little bit and then you do one of those sections. So you damage her more and you do another one. Yeah. But I damaged her so fucking much that all of a sudden it was just like I would have to do all those in a row. She just kept like bringing them all out.
Right. Yeah.
But I did like that. I thought it was unique. One of the only times
phases.
Yeah, they're cool. One of the only time I died to a boss was that stupid wizard guy that like summoned the centipedes, because fighting him wasn't hard. The fucking centipede damaged me so much that by the time I fought him, he killed me.
Yeah. That's basically the only way you can die.
Yeah, like that was the easiest one for me because like I saw him like I automatically that he's controlling the centipede. So like after like the first battle with the centipede and you knock him off and then you go into like 2D mode, not battle mode, like I instantly saw him appear on the other side of the screen, so I just dashed and attacked him right away. So I kept doing that every time the battle would stop. So the centipede never actually hit me on the outside of battle.
Yeah.
Once it hit you, it comboed you to hell, though. Mm-hmm. And it happened to me, and I was like, well, I'm almost dead. And then he just was like, got in the battle and hit me with like one magic attack, and everybody died. Mm-hmm. So I think it was like the only time I died on a boss. Mm. It's like the only time you can die, like you just said. It was just like during some platform.
Yeah, it's basically just like taking damage before the battle, like from platforming stuff. That's the only way.
And the platforming stuff is fucking great. Is awesome.
Absolutely. I was just gonna, want to transfer into this.
It is really fun, but there are, I don't know why, some areas, like when I was at the nightclub part in the Chinatown, Neo Tokyo, you learn how to like, stab your spear in the ceiling so you can go across like large gaps, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For some reason, I tried all different timings with it, it would not work on certain ceilings. Really? It was very strange. It even had like the twinkling lights, so it was obvious that I had to do it, and I eventually did get it after like trying so many times and falling down the gap. I don't know, maybe
that's a you thing, because I had no problem with it at all.
Yeah, that never happened to me. I don't know, maybe it was like a Steam thing, or...
Maybe it's this version, and sometimes with the axe, you know how you use the axe to like cling on the walls? Mm-hmm. Like to do an extra jump sort of thing? Sometimes instead of the axe, you would use the spear and try to stab the wall, which didn't work, obviously. What? And I don't know why it happened in that fucking nightclub so much. I didn't have that issue anywhere else.
Yeah, that never happened to me ever.
Yeah. Speaking of the axe and the spear, I fucking love that she uses those to help her, like, move higher. Like, use the spear to do, like, an extra jump or to stab on the ceiling. Use the axe to stab the wall to climb up. I really liked how the game added those weapons to, to let you be able to traverse the, world better.
Yeah, I liked that, too. Because at the beginning, you feel kind of constricted in terms of movement and, like, exploration. But it becomes more fluid and fast and fun as the game goes on, which like kind of inspires you to explore past areas a bit and find collectibles that are scattered throughout the game, which are like these red gems that you can use to power up attack or defense. It's very basic, but just unlocking the new abilities was great and. Really good to the Metroidvania like style gameplay, in terms of getting new abilities that lets you backtrack or just explore easier than before.
Mm-hmm. Pro gamers know that they should always use the fucking D-pad in this game, not fucking analog sticks.
Absolutely. I always use the D-pad because to start running, which obviously you want to run every time you can, you like do a double tap. And double tapping on a control stick is just fucking dumb. Like, double tapping the D-pad to start running is just like instantaneous. Mm-hmm. And then the control stick also is just on like 2D planes. A lot of times it's just not as accurate as you want. There's some games that it works fine with, right? It works great with. Like I played, like Celeste, right, or Super Meat Boy with a control stick because it's like it just works good. But yeah, this game is not good with a control stick in terms of, not even in battle. Cause sometimes you
maybe that was causing my issue because I was using a control stick.
Well, I think the thing with Celeste and Super Meat Boy is that those are like very more like twitchy kind of platformers. Like you have to be very precise, and they actually have like movements that actually matter if you go diagonally or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this game, it's not that precise, but it is very cool because like it keeps progressing. You keep getting more and more abilities to help you maneuver around this world.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning of the game, I thought the platforming was kind of boring, kind of keeping me away from what I wanted to do. By the end of the game, I loved it more than anything else. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, and they get more and more unique with it. Like near the end of the game, like when you're climbing the mountain, I was really enjoying like the platforming challenges. That not that any of them were hard, but I liked them. Like
they were engaging. Like they made you think. I thought that was great.
Yeah, both times you had to climb the mountain were very good.
Yeah.
I liked them both a lot. They like utilize all of your abilities.
Exactly.
And it's never difficult really to pull off, but it feels good to do. And you're right, it is engaging.
It's very satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah. But the only thing is with the exploration, sometimes the map isn't like super great in this game.
I hate the map in this game. Oh my god.
It doesn't really like explain anything. There's just random blocks like of colors everywhere, and it doesn't really like explain.
It doesn't tell you where walls are.
Yeah, they add some stuff to like it. Like if you see a gem that you can't get, at least they mark it so you know like where to go back to. If you get an ability and later on you can go back to it, you can see where it was. Yeah. So I like that. But the thing with like sometimes with like the stories or the quests, it's not even where you have to go. Like where it marks on the map, it doesn't really make any sense.
It's like very occasional when they'll give you like a quest tracker icon on the map. Like,
not that it's like hard to not that it's ever really that hard to be like, well, where do I go next? Usually the game's pretty much like
it's just exactly weird because like sometimes they give it to you and sometimes they don't. And like why? Yeah. Why is it like this?
Yeah, there was one day where I like loaded the game up and was like, okay, what exactly was I doing, right? And it took me to just running around until a cutscene started because I was like, well, I went to where it showed me on the map and nothing happened. So I was like, okay, must be somewhere else. But I had to just kind of walk around and then eventually a cutscene. I was like, okay. I couldn't remember because I shut the game off and just instantly, I could remember exactly where the characters said to go next time. So that was kind of dumb.
Right.
But not really that bad, but still kind of stupid. Like they just should have put like moved where the quest thing was to exactly where I was supposed to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine a map being helpful.
Silent Hill 2, I can imagine.
Yeah. Man, Silent Hill 2's map. What an all-time great.
That map is an all-time great. Now every map is going to be compared to that map.
Yep.
Because it's that kind of map. Bring that map into like every Metroidvania game.
Just every game. Just
it's really any game that you need a map for. Yes.
Put maps in fighting games. Fuck it.
Okay, I don't know what the point of that is, but all right. Put it in Street Fighter. Where on the map am I fighting today?
Exactly. You need to know.
You can mark it off where you fought already. And what character goes to which map? I guess maybe it is helpful. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're onto something here.
Yeah, you remember in Street Fighter 2 where they like fly to different parts of the countries?
It's true. They do show a map though. Just not as good as.
It's a shit map.
Now, if I play any other Silent Hill game, I'm gonna be like, if it's not as good as the map from Silent Hill 2, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm gonna be like, how do you take a step back like this? What the fuck? Oh man. Something about we mentioned the art style, and I don't like in that it's good, and I don't want to go into it a lot because we already talked about how we like it. But one of the things, obviously the animations are very fluid. I want to say that I like that a lot. And like even in the battles, animations are fucking great. Like they flow like so seamlessly when your characters are fighting. And they look really good. And I want to say that the opening animation is done by Studio Trigger, who you might know if you watch anime. That's the studio behind Kill la Kill, Little Witch Academia, Darling in the Franxx, and they even did the opening animation for the upcoming Shantae and the Seven Sirens. So,
nice.
They do some good work, and they did really good work in this game as well. Like great.
On the tangent of character designs, I did like 99% of them, but there were two that I really didn't like, and that was fucking Zebe. I don't know what was going on with his face.
What was his hair? What the hell was that?
Why did he have that one thing on his arm that looked so ugly?
Oh, that weird like red chain thing?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That guy was horrible. I hated
him
Zebe,
so much. I don't like him. He turned into a real asshole all of a sudden.
Yep. And his playstyle sucked. Everything about Zebe sucked.
He seemed like he was going to be real cool when you save him from prison, and then he's not.
Yes.
And he becomes a real dick at one point. And then it's just like, oh, well, no, never mind, I'm not a dick. I don't even really know if he apologizes for it. I can't remember. But either way, fuck him.
He's a real piece of shit.
He does.
He's still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And the other design that I could not understand while I was in the game. Fucking Mara from that city. It looked so weird. It looks so out of place. It is so disgusting. I don't get it.
His like weird like chest hair that like goes around his nipples.
I don't know what his nipples are.
It's green. Well, I know what I did like about that guy, even though he was a disgusting thing to look at. I liked his whole thing, like his obsession with Tarani. Yeah, and like how throughout his club there was like statues of her everywhere, and there was like pictures of her with him, and there was like you could see statues of his old self and pictures of him when he was young, and he looked like all burly and handsome.
Right.
And then he turned into this. I don't know if it was because the evil demon's powers, that maybe corrupted him. Because he is like a genie type of thing, like Tarani was. But I did like that. I like to see like his obsession with her and stuff, and like also the pictures of him looking kind of normal in the background.
Yeah, I thought that was fine. I thought he was, decent as a character, more or less. But his design looked like something out of like Cartoon Swim or something. It looked so out of place.
The colors and everything on him were very. Yeah. He was an ugly man.
Maybe it was done on purpose for that reaction.
It's so weird. It looks out of place.
Yeah, and speaking of out of place, some of the NPCs were out of place as hell.
My God,
I think they were the backers like putting their own OCs in the game.
I think I saw Zone Chan.
Yeah, I did. You did. You saw it there.
Yeah. There's some like indie game characters in there.
There's two guys from Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of OCs. And
it's a lot of random shit.
You can definitely tell, like, immediately. Like, every time you talk to one of them, they say something that does not relate to the world at all.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just a reference to who they are.
Yeah, it's
exactly. That was my reference at the beginning of the game. Or the beginning of this episode, I mean. Because there was a guy named Brandon, and he's just like, I like Monster Girls, and I'm proud of it. Yeah. And I'm like, that is absolutely just a guy who paid this to put his name in the game and say that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that, like, they had that reward for people, but I wish they kind of, like, made it more cohesive with the world.
They should have just made one town where all those people lived together, right?
Yeah.
So
it's like that.
I wish they like
town or something.
I wish they like said something about the world, like except instead of like their own like little quirkiness or whatever the fuck. It just seems so weird.
Yeah, it's very out of place. Though I really like that there was even like for simple NPCs, every character was different. Like you don't see like duplicates of the character like you typically see in like RPGs and things like that. I really like that, but they didn't take advantage of it. Like you say, they should have just mixed it in with the world to make it more interesting, not just be standing out being nothing.
Yeah, if these characters actually like said something important ever, or related to the world in some way, if they had like some kind of prior relationship with the Iron Kingdom, Ravanavar, one of these people, maybe I would care more. But like at a certain point, I was just like walking past them because there's no point.
Yeah, it's like there's no point talking to them. Yeah.
These people
I still
don't
talk to
really
all
exist.
of them, though.
Yeah,
I wanted to see what kind of weird shit
Yeah.
they would say. I couldn't get over the fact that there was a guy named Brandon that said that.
God, it's like looking in a mirror.
It was great. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, like the main party and like everybody in your party are all fucking awesome. I didn't have I
Zebe.
thought all of them were cool, except for
I
Zebe.
wasn't a fan of Honey and what's his name.
Honey and ginseng.
You didn't like honey and
Yeah,
ginseng?
Cool.
Oh my
They weren't
God.
bad. It's just it was like I don't care.
I think they had a cool design.
What do you mean? They love superheroes. What's wrong?
A little nerdy kid. He's
God.
into plants.
You hating on your old self, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a fucking dog in the game in your party. I mean, that
Manchi.
that shit was amazing.
Yeah,
Oh man. Although dog, I don't even remember the dog's name. But dog was not
Lanchi, I
very
think
good.
it was.
What was his name?
Lanchi.
Lanchi. Yeah, I guess I don't remember at all. You could say it, and I would just say sure.
Yeah.
But there was like a petting. Yes. Oh, by the way, yes, you can pet the dog in Indivisible. By the way,
Glad to
Very
know
important.
very important. There's an entire Twitter account to "Can you pet the dog" in this game, and I don't know if they've tweeted about Indivisible yet, but yes, you can. You can pet the dog in Indivisible if you were wondering. So I do. You guys want to talk about like spoilers, like in terms of the story spoilers now?
it. Sure.
Okay. So while we get into spoilers, just to give you a heads up, if you don't want to listen to spoilers, we will put where we end the spoilers in the description below, what timestamp to jump to now. So you don't have to worry about that. Because I obviously do suggest playing this game without, just experience the story for yourself. It's good. Want to talk about? I mean, first things first. Obviously, you accidentally release a demon. What the hell's her name?
Kala.
Kala. Yeah. So Kala, you find out you accidentally release her, which was Ravanavar's big plan was to release Kala, and you accidentally are the one who triggers her. You find out that you're part of her. You are a part of Kala, and that
Okay.
in the beginning of the game too, you play as like a team of 4 who are trying to seal Kala away. Though you don't really know what's going on when you first start the game.
Right.
One of them is Ajna's dad. One of them is Ajna's mom. One of them is a robot guy. I can't remember his name. One of them is the other girl. I can't remember her name either. I'm really bad with the names in this game.
Like Anwi?
Anwi?
Anwar? Anwu.
Anwu. I think it's Anwu. Anyway, she's cool. I loved her, by the way. She was so fucking sassy, and she was great. She was really good. The mom, just inexplicably, they never really talk about her ever. You never
Ever.
find out really any
They
more about
never
her,
talk about her. Never ever.
which is really weird. And she guards Ajna's dad in the fight. And anyway, I think she died. Does she die in that fight? I'm not 100% sure.
I think she
so,
dies
actually.
after. She dies
I think
after.
she dies after because they find Ajna on the side of a mountain after the fight, after they seal away Kala, and they adopt her and raise her.
Which she doesn't know initially.
She doesn't know. They never tell her that she's orphan, or that's the fact that they found her on the side of the mountain. I don't know if he knew that she was part of Kala.
I think they did.
Okay, I wasn't 100% sure on that. But she is part of Kala, so basically she does have access to some of Kala's powers, and
Which
abilities.
in turn it helps her absorb people into her mind.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the whole thing. That's why she can absorb people into her mind. That's why she has these weird abilities she doesn't know why or how to use. You go through these different towns to find these gates to be able to go to Kala to fight her. And while you're going through these towns, you're trying to solve these problems that each of these towns are having. When in turn you're making more of a mess Although Ajna thinks she's doing the right thing, her colleagues are kind of trying to be like, you're not really doing this in the best way throughout the game, and she's just like, no, I know what I'm doing. I'm helping, and she's very tough-headed and doesn't really take anyone else's advice. There's the one town that has a drug issue, this big city, and Tarani wants to stay and help people, and Ajna's
she wants to heal them.
Stay with me. She wants to heal them and help the drug epidemic, and Ajna's like, no, you can't do that. You have to come with me. Kind of guilting her out of it.
Yeah, and like the whole with the Serpent Queen, like she was bringing all of her people and her village underground in like a very strong protective barrier to protect from Kala, because Kala was going to destroy and renew the world.
Yeah.
And like that barrier would have been able to protect everybody, but Anja thought, hey, you shouldn't imprison everybody. They need to be free. So she destroyed the barrier.
Yeah. So she was doing more damage than good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she goes and fight Kala against everybody's wishes, including a bunch of monks who are like, no, you are not ready for this at all. And she goes and does it anyway. And gets her ass beat, basically.
She's not ready for it, and then
she's not ready for it. Yeah, she basically can't control her own powers.
Exactly,
either.
yeah.
And she goes on a rampage and losing control of herself. And Dar sacrifices his life in order to stop her. Because he doesn't want to see her make the same mistakes he did.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really good moment. Dar's sacrifice was great.
That's like my favorite moment in the game, probably.
Yeah, he was just. I really liked him by the end.
Yeah,
he was cool, and I loved his interactions with the other characters. Even when he was trying to atone and be better, and people were just like, "Shut up, Dar," he was just like, "Oh, okay,"
Yeah.
He was really cool, and him sacrificing himself in that moment was the right thing to do in terms of the story, and it was just. It was cool. I like that a lot.
The funny thing is, like, when you go back to the mountain and you see his sword, like, she's not really that appreciative of him. Like, right. I mean, she kind of is, but she still doesn't really forgive him, which I get, but damn.
Yeah, because, like, he did kill her father, but, also, yeah.
Yeah.
But Ajna grows after that entire thing. Obviously she realizes, wow, I fucked up. Dar had to kill himself. Just, she killed Dar, but he had to die in order for her to be able to calm down. And she also put everybody else's life in danger. She destroyed an entire town, and so she realized she fucked up. So you go back and you fix all the other problems that you caused already before going to fight Kala again. She's like,
right.
Well, I need to atone for what I've done. So you go back and. Which there's a bit of backtracking in the game at that point, which is, at first I was like, this is kind of a pain, I have to go through some of the areas, but you get new abilities that make it way faster to travel through some of these parts in these areas, so it's not like too bad.
While that's true, and I was glad for all the new abilities that you got, why wasn't there better fast travel in this game?
Yeah, because there's like 6 different points that you can fast travel to, but it's just one set point in each map. And like sometimes it's not where you want to go to. There needed to be more. And
you can only travel to those points from another one of those points. There
should have just been more of those points, really. Even if it was just you can only travel to one from one, there should have just been more of them.
I would wish that they would just at least let you fast travel to your ship, so that you didn't have to backtrack all the way to your ship. But whatever.
Yeah. You could have done those, which was kind of neat. I mean, you could have done them. Could you have done them in any order?
I don't think you could have done them in any order the first time around, but the second time around, I think you could.
Yeah, because there's like they block you off in some of them if you don't go to the right one, because it happened to me.
Which is weird because they present it as if you could do it in any order. So why
they do? But I think the second time around, after you're fixing all the problems, I think you could do them in any order.
Yeah.
Which I just took the approach, I'm just going to do it in the same order I did them last time.
Yeah, I think I did the same thing. No, I think the second time around, you have to go to the city first.
Oh, yeah, you start in the city, because you go up through it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah, you fix these problems that you caused, really, and kind of make atonements with all the characters there, which was cool. You know, Ajna obviously learning lessons and becoming a better person, and then also learning to harness her powers better.
Learning to accept herself, basically.
Right.
That's a huge part of it.
Yeah, because she was fighting the fact that she was part of Kala, you know, and that really bothered her. But her having to accept that, no, she's, you know, her being part of Kala does not define who she is. And, you know, fighting, almost kind of like in a way with Celeste, where with her fighting her inner self, having to learn to overcome that and just, you know, be happy with who she is, despite her flaws, you know.
Yeah, and you kind of see this even like in the physical changes, because she has like a regular demon form, and then she has like a different demon form after she accepts herself. Which is pretty cool, I think. Yeah.
And then the final boss, when you fight Kala, I did like the final boss. I thought it was cool. Because I did like when you get to the final phase of the boss itself, before you get there, you kind of have to part ways with everybody. Yeah. Which was some cool moments. I did like her saying goodbye to every character.
Yeah.
Especially Rosmi. I think Rosmi was very good.
Absolutely the best.
Yeah. You know, Rosmi being like, you know, oh, just get out of here. I don't want to talk to you, even though now, because you made me become a friend, and I hate it. You know. Rosmi was great, and it just, you know, saying goodbye to all the characters was really bittersweet, and then the final moments where the whole thing comes full circle, because the beginning of the game was your father teaching you how to do the perfect blocks, which would heal you if you could pull them off in time, and then the last part of the final boss was you having to like perfect that. Because the only way to get through it, you can't attack her anymore. All you can do is sit there and block, and you have to do it. She wears herself out by trying to attack you so much that she just like tires herself out and runs out of energy, and you just have to block it all, which was really cool.
Yeah, I did like the theme that they were going for there. I'm a little bit torn about it, because like I feel like they didn't really establish the relationship between her and her father enough in the beginning for me to care that much, because he just kind of dies like immediately, and
he does very fast.
Yeah, so it was less of a meaningful callback, but I appreciated it anyway.
Yeah, it was cool, and I liked the whole thing right at the end with her and Kala being reincarnated, becoming one again, but also being reincarnated. I thought was cool, because you know, she basically convinced Kala, like, that, you know, because Kala apparently was insecure. That's why she wanted to destroy everything. She kept feeling like she kept messing up, and she needed to keep resetting the world.
Yeah, it wasn't,
she
like,
couldn't
perfect.
Get it perfect.
Yeah, she wanted
couldn't
it to
get
be perfect.
And her, like, telling her, like, listen, it's never going to be perfect, you know? Just like you are never going to be perfect. You need to accept who you are and love what you've created instead of criticizing it and trying to destroy it every time, you know. And even her realizing that, and then them becoming one again and being reincarnated as a human was really cool.
Right.
Just a good ending, I think. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it for the most part. I wish, like, I really wish that Ajna's mom, like, played some kind of factor in the story, because
it was weird that she was, like, mentioned, that was it. Like, there was just nothing of it. And, like, she's in the game. Like, she's a character at the beginning. Like,
yeah. And it seems like so much like Ajna wants to emulate her mom. Like, she says when she picks up the axe for the first time, she's like, oh, I always wanted to use this. Like, yeah. But, like, it never really matters to her, like, later on. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It is a shame that they never really went into even their relationship. You know, they don't really. I don't know how old she was when her mother died, but obviously she knew her and you know, had some feelings towards her, but like they never was really explored.
And another weird thing is that she looks exactly like her parents, but she's not their kid.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Maybe Kala wanted to just melded them after her so they would pick her up. I don't know.
I don't know. Man.
I don't know if Kala had a plan with Ozma originally.
Like, I don't think so because I don't think she knew that she was her eye or whatever right away. I don't know.
Yeah, weird that she was her eye. Like, I don't know how like her eye became a human baby, and it's a weird thing, but it is what it is. It's a world of magic and weird stuff,
Well, it's like her third eye, so it's kind of like symbolic. You know what I mean?
I guess. But it's one of those things, how should be. Why is she a human? Also, Rosmi, has a tiger soul in a lantern. It's weird. It's magical. Thorani is a weird genie who heals people with her hair, water that spouts out of her hair. It's a world of magic.
So good. Gotta love that hair.
Oh, that hair! Oh my god, it's so cool. How it's like a big hose. It's really fucking cool. It's good. She's a good design.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the spoilers. Overall, I really liked how the game ended. Now I guess we'll talk about recommendations here because we didn't do it at the beginning. I completely forgot. So it changes every week. You never know when it's going to be, the beginning or the end. So I'll start and say, I definitely recommend this game. Obviously, it's on Game Pass. It's fucking free. I mean, come on, you got no excuse. If you got a PC or an Xbox, you can play it for free now. I think definitely it's worth a game. It's a game that is worth playing for $30. It's also a game worth playing for free. It's a fun time. Cool characters. Combat system obviously not super deep. It is kind of an easy game. But if you like 2D Metroidvania type of games as well, you're gonna really enjoy this game. So I would say yes for sure. Ills.
Yes, I would say play this game. I mean, it's like Brandon said, it's not terribly deep. I did grow to love the platforming a whole lot by the end of the game. And there's supposed to be more characters coming on from other indie games, like Red from Transistor and Shovel Knight and other people.
And Shantae.
Shantae.
I wish not mention that one.
I wish these characters were already there because I really wanted to play as Red.
Same. I would have absolutely loved to play as Shantae in this game. Shantae and Tarani would have been best friends.
It's a whole mood right there.
And I would have loved it. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously more characters coming to this game, which is really cool. But also, it's like one of those things. It's like there's not really any post game, so it's like, is there really even any reason for me to go back and play as these characters again? Yeah. But if these characters are out by the time you play the game, really fucking cool.
Yes.
All right, Noah.
Yeah, definitely play. Give this a try if you can, especially since it's on Game Pass. The characters are very endearing. They'll grow on you. You'll enjoy their conversations between each other and their interactions. And yeah, good, fun battle system. Even though it gets a little dragging towards the end, but the platforming is really cool too. So yeah, definitely try it out.
Okay. All right. Well, now it's time to put this game against other games when we put it on the list.
The
list.
You can follow along with the list in the pastebin below as we talk about it. Every week on the Game Club, after we talk about the game, we place it on the list where we think it belongs. And this is an ever-growing list, including every Game Club game, but also other games that we add on the regular episodes of the Jump Up Supercast every week. So there's always games being added to it. It just goes from best to worst. With that being said, I gotta think about this because I haven't thought about it really yet, surprisingly. And think about where I think Indivisible goes on the
Can
list.
I offer a suggestion?
Sure, why not?
I would put it like 47, like right above Tomb Raider.
Well, that's pretty high.
2013 Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, starting off, I mean, obviously 47 on the list is pretty, we're in good game territory here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're good game territory even in the 80s.
True.
Yes. Okay, so maybe we're in great game territory here.
Well, if you put it like that.
Huh?
Well, if you put it like that.
Well, I mean, I would say these games are great, right? Tomb Raider's great. Okami's great.
Yeah.
So,
It's straddling the line between good and great.
Yeah. So these are great games in this area of the list, for sure. I mean, we have fucking WarioWare, Donkey Kong Country. You know, these are great games.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me, I will say that yes, they are. Borderlands, great game. Gears of War, great game. So yeah, man. I mean, I don't hate that spot. I'll tell you that. Because, like, I do think it's better than WarioWare Inc.
Right.
I mean, WarioWare Inc. is a really good game, but
I think it's better than Octopath. Like, I think Octopath is too long and it's bloated, and yeah, the stories don't mature. Like, they don't go where they need to go to be interesting.
Right. I mean, like, Octopath, I will say, has like a better battle system. I think
it's like the inverse of Octopath, really.
Right.
Because like this is a much shorter game,
yeah,
but a lot less complex battle system compared to that game. That game has a way better battle system, but
yeah,
it's way too long and it's way too bloated and needs to be cut down.
And the story obviously isn't as,
some parts of it fall apart. Yeah,
and the characters don't interact with each other as much as they could or should.
Yes, very true.
Yeah, and both games do have a beautiful art style.
That's true.
Octopath also has like incredible music.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk about the music in Indivisible, but I thought it was good. It's also composed by the guy who does the music for Secret of Mana, by the way, the Indivisible music.
I don't remember the music. So.
Yeah, it's not that memorable.
I don't think it's
fit,
memorable.
But yeah.
So I mean, those are good comparisons, I think, with Octopath Traveler. So you are right. In that case.
I'm right in most cases. Don't worry.
You know, I'm throwing you bones. I'm saying you're right. All right, don't let it go to your fucking head.
I'm just stating facts.
Whatever. Go fuck yourself.
I will.
Super Mario Brothers.
That's a little too high, but yeah.
And then
I
Tomb Raider.
100% agree.
Tomb Raider 2013 Tomb Raider is a very good game. I really like that game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Both, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird to try to compare though. Like Octopath, obviously, there's a lot of comparisons to be made, right? Both RPGs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just
compare the platforming between this and Super Mario Bros.
I mean, Super Mario Brothers is tighter in terms of platforming.
It's debatable.
It's like, I mean, it's a timeless classic, and it's the most like, I mean, it's extremely tight controls in Super Mario Brothers. I mean, it laid the foundation of tight controls and platformers, and it still holds up in terms of, but obviously Super Mario Brothers is more bare bones compared to Indivisible.
Mm-hmm.
And just comparing Indivisible with Tomb Raider is such a mindfuck for me. I don't know where to even begin. I guess like the only thing I can think of is like which game would I rather like play, right? But like to me, I've beat Tomb Raider twice, and I don't think I'm gonna beat Indivisible twice. I guess so. That's one thing I would put Tomb Raider above it for.
Yeah. Let me think about this. I really like. Yeah, I think Tomb Raider is better as an overall experience. To be honest, like there's just something about like craft. Like I just played all the other Tomb Raider games like last month, and
Yes.
the original Tomb Raider 2013. Like there's something cool about like crafting, you know, all the stuff, you know, how it brings together all the elements of like Uncharted games, the climbing system, you know, how it tells a good story, you know. I think it's more memorable than Indivisible.
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, like I said, I beat Tomb Raider twice, which I very rarely do nowadays because of how many games there are. But I beat it on 360 when it first came out, and then it was given out with games with gold on Xbox One, and I just downloaded it and beat it again. I was like, I just really like this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. It's not a long game either.
It's one of those games where there's not a lot to dislike.
Right. Yeah, there's not. It's hard to pick that. You're nitpicking. I mean, I feel like, in Indivisible, you nitpick a little bit. Obviously, when you get to, a part where you're talking about good games, I feel like most things that you are like really, really trying to find things that are bad, right? Mm-hmm. And Tomb Raider is definitely one of those. It's hard to find things that are really coherently bad with that game. Because even the graphics hold up nowadays. It still looks fucking great. I mean, it was remastered a bit for like the current platforms, and it just plays well, and it has that continued progression of like you getting stronger and new abilities, and kind of like it's almost like it's like a 3D Metroidvania game,
Mm-hmm.
where you can go back to old areas and explore and find new, collectibles and stuff to increase your weapons and all that. It's lots of progression in that game. That's what I really liked about it. On top of the story and even the gunplay is good.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they have a hard time mixing gunplay with like exploring and stuff like that, right? Like the first Uncharted is I think a good example of like it's not really polished. Uncharted gets better as it goes on.
Yeah.
In terms of combining the two. But Tomb Raider had it really good. I really liked the combat in that game as well.
Yeah.
So I think putting it under Tomb Raider is good for me.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that?
Yep.
What about Noah? I mean, we have... Oh, yeah,
He remembered me.
Well, he needs to interject. What?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say something. I mean, at least, even though me and Nils have both kind of settled on a spot, we have to...
Well, I never played Tomb Raider, so I can't really compare it to that. I could definitely say it's better than Super Mario, because Super Mario's too high. The only debate 100%. Would be if it's better than Octopath, but they're, like you guys kind of pointed out, they're kind of like the opposite of each other, so it's really difficult to compare them. But it's definitely better than WarioWare, so I'm good with that area you guys picked.
Okay, then that would put it, if we put it under Tomb Raider, that puts it at number 48 on the list.
Alright, we're landing there?
Alright. Yeah, good with that. Indivisible, number 48, surrounding it. Okami at number 46. Tomb Raider 2013 at number 47. Indivisible at number 48. Number 49, Super Mario Brothers. And number 50, Octopath Traveler, which was also a Game Club game that we played
long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago, but, well, I guess not that long ago.
It was a long time.
Okay, it's like 2 years ago.
Especially, that's a long time.
It hasn't even been 2 years. It's been like a year and a half.
That's still a long time.
Whatever your metric of long is.
We've played like 40 Game Club games since then.
Sure. Okay, fine. It was a long time ago. Is that what you want me to say?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Glad that we're on the same page now again. So, yeah, that was a long time ago, but also I wanted to point out that was another game that we played right after it came out. So,
yep.
Similar vibes. But unlike Octopath, I don't think that I'll instantly regret where we put Indivisible, like where we put Octopath at like number 5. We originally put it on the list. We put it in like the top 10. But also the list had like 30 games on it or something at that fucking point. Now it's got like 167 now with Indivisible.
69. 169.
Yeah. It's got 167. Oh no, it is 169. You're right. Sorry, it goes on to another page. Holy shit. Wow. Nice. So that's the list. Thank you guys for listening. Before we go, we have a couple of things. We're going to talk about the next game we're going to play, but I'm going to go through some mandatory plugs that we have to talk about first. So if you enjoyed the Jump Up Supercast Game Club, make sure you check us out on your favorite podcast listening service of your choice, including SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube, where a new episode of the Game Club will go up every other Thursday, as well as normal Jump Up Supercast episodes will go up every single Monday. give us a follow, a like, or a share, and feel free to let us know what you thought about Indivisible, if you played it, down in the comments below, or if you're thinking about playing it now. And support us if you enjoy what we do on Patreon, where for $1 a month you can get the chance to choose one of our Game Club games every round. Ills is picking next, but the game after that is going to be a Patreon game. So if you get in now, you can possibly choose what we're going to play next. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to stay up to date on everything Jump Up Supercast related, including when new episodes go up, when we're streaming, or whenever. And you can also, of course, you can catch us streaming from time to time on twitch.tv/JumpUpSupercast, where we play some video games. And as always, I'm going to thank Ills and Noah for playing games with me. But before we leave, Ills, I know you're happy that it's your turn again. You always are. So what game are you going to have us play?
I'm actually not super happy that it's my turn right now, because I'm about to pick a game that I myself am going to have a lot of trouble with.
I hate you so much right now.
At least it's going to be painful. Alright, so we're going to play Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Oh, okay.
Fuck. Don't listen.
Get ready for Death Mountain.
Oh boy.
Well, at least I haven't beat this game, but god damn it.
Yep.
Alright, well.
Prepare your butts.
I'm preparing my butt. Well, at least this game's on the fucking... I don't have to pay any money for it, because I own it in like fucking 8 different ways, so...
Yep.
That's good. Alright, so we're gonna play Zelda 2. Not The Legend of Zelda 2, mind you, but Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, on the next episode of the Game Club. So tune in for that. Thank you guys for listening. Go out there, play some video games, and be nice.
Yep.